Hello everyone, welcome to just north of Sutton Bridge in Lincolnshire, where Liz and I find ourselves somewhat in exile, self-isolating away from the rest of civilization really. It's a beautiful part of the world, and you join me on my permitted once a day stroll on a beautiful, if chilly, Monday evening. I wonder if anybody else is struggling with knowing what day of the week it is. They all merge into one, don't they? There's a Northumbrian word that I love to describe hard walking, and it's called plodging. And I wonder how many of us feel that we're plodging along as we are into week 4 of this necessary lockdown. I'm aware that next Sunday's passage in the lectionary, if we follow it in our online worship and in our prayers, is the heartbreaking journey from Jerusalem back home to Emmaus of two people, perhaps Cleopas and his wife, and their hopes are dashed. Things they thought they'd got sorted in their heads as they followed Jesus were no more, and they could do no other than go home. I love the story in the 24th chapter of Luke. It's an amazing, patient encounter that Jesus has with those two demoralised souls. They had hoped, we had hoped, they say, to the person they think is a stranger. We had hoped he would be the one to set Israel free. And I just love the fact about Jesus throughout the Gospels that he takes time to sort people out as though there's nobody else around. And here on this awful journey for these two, when all they can do is go home, he does a real Bible study with them as they plodge the 12 miles back from Jerusalem to their home. He calls them foolish, but I'm not sure he really means that they're silly. If you'd seen crucifixion, if you'd had all your hopes dashed, if you'd invested all your energy and time, perhaps giving up things you did before for this cause, and you saw it gone, well, they didn't expect to see him, did they? He takes time to explain the scriptures, and they arrive home. The sun is setting, as it is here. Let me see if I can do that for you. The sun is setting behind me. It's absolutely glorious. I love this part of the world. I didn't know it at all. If ever you needed a place to self-isolate or shield, then this is it. I can come out and walk and not see a soul. And we're heading towards the sunset, which I hopefully will be able to do at the end of this little talk. The bit of the story I think I want to share with you tonight is that in the simplicity of a home, as they break bread, they recognise the one who has travelled all those miles with them, has plodged with them all the way back to their house. They find something captivating about him, and they still don't know who he is, but they encourage him to stay the night because it's getting late. And they break bread. And Luke tells us when Jesus broke bread, they recognised him. We, in our denomination, are not permitted to do virtual communion, and I understand that. And a lot of us miss kneeling at a rail. Those of us who are clergy people miss putting broken bread into the hands of those we are charged to care for. That will come again. At the moment, perhaps we need to encourage each other as we spend time eating, using up things in the pantry we wonder why on earth we bought, as we make interesting meals together. I wonder whether we take time as we eat to recognise in each other the risen Jesus. I wonder whether Jesus is recognised in the small things, small acts of kindness, the signs of God. When we struggle to find him, he is there. Like tonight as I walk in this brisk, chilly, brisk and quite cold evening. They did say that wind would be whistling off the North Sea across East Anglia today, and it is quite cold, but anyway, it's been worth coming out. But even in the wonder of creation, where I can see nothing but the wonder of God, I recognise his hand as I plodge. Remember how the story ends, the road to Emmaus. He moves on, Jesus. What do those two, I think they're husband and wife, what do they then do? They've plodged all the way home with no energy, mentally and physically exhausted. And they run back to Jerusalem. They tell the others, "We have seen the Lord." Resurrection, new life, Easter joy is a process. It takes time to take it in. We have a patient Saviour who not only walks with us, carries us when we need carrying. So tonight, in week 4 of a lockdown, when we want answers to all sorts of questions, when we don't know where we're going, where we want to know how our future will pan out, and we can't. We just need Jesus to walk with us. We need a God we can give our pain and our questions to. We can sit in our lockdown state in our homes and break bread together and appreciate those we are locked in with. And I just offer you this prayer as I walk. I'll pan the camera around as I offer it to you, and I will say a prayer for us all, that we might encounter new life in the midst of darkness and joy, in the midst of sorrow and peace when we have all sorts of questions. So let us pray. Let's go this way. Lord Jesus, be with us in our walking, in our plodging. Take time to sort our heads out. We give you our questions, our doubts and our fears. We offer you the things we don't understand. We invite you into our homes, where we ask that we might know your peace. Your body was broken for us on a cross, and we feel broken at the moment. We ask for your help and comfort and a sense that we are never alone as we walk where we are permitted in this period. So Lord, we offer you our peace. We offer you the peace that we seek. We offer you our lives as they are tonight, and as the sun sets, perhaps on the things that we hoped would come, which we've had to shelve new day may come where we may know you in all the fullness of life that you offer us. So for this day we thank you, for this walk we thank you, for the peace of this night we thank you. May we lie down and take our rest, knowing that all will be well. This is the first time I've done this. It might come over as horrific, but there we go. I'm going to pan the camera around and hopefully you will see the sun setting.